We're learning new details today about the Chattanooga gunman who police say opened fire on 2 U.S. military facilities on Thursday. Now, the family of 24-year-old Muhammad Youssuf Abdulazeez says he suffered from depression and was, quote, was not the son we knew. We're also learning that he entered Jordan several times over the past years, most recently in 2014. Jordanian security investigators are now interviewing his relatives overseas. They're trying to figure out where he went and with whom he met. A close friend of Abdulazeez tells CNN that he just wasn't the same when he came back from the Middle East. CNN's Paton Walsh spoke with family in the West Bank.
Well, the Tennessee gunman's family began in the hills of the West Bank. The men of this tiny village now scrutinize his end. Palestinians who've seen decades of trauma in the shade hear words of comfort. A gathering because the death of Muhammad Abdulazeez has left his father, Youssuf, born and admired here, without a male heir and without honour.
The emotions on display here have little to do with mourning the loss of Muhammad Youssuf. They're about his father. They're about showing solidarity for the suffering and shame he must be feeling now on the other side of the Atlantic. And also, in some ways, this is a wake for that family's honour.
Most of the voices are stunned and angry at Muhammad, but one local, not a relative, speaks out. I think what he did, he says, was an angry reaction to the regime that's ruling America and the West in general, that is the Muslims' enemies and supports bad regimes. But this was a rare voice. His father's cousin, Assad, wants Americans grieving their loss to know their horror here too.
All the people who talk with me, they're feeling very angry and very sad about this behavior. All of them say Youssuf is a good man. He Youssuf, as a man, must have a good son.
This village has had martyrs fighting the Israelis, whose posters have adorned the streets. But this won't happen to Muhammad, we're told, as many here feel he had everything but blew it.
He have education, higher education, have a passport, can work, he can live where he wants in all the world because of the USA passport. But this choice, all of us can't know why he do that.
Muhammad came here once in 2005, age 15, for a week with his father to get his Palestinian ID, we're told, by his father's other cousin. He looked like an American kid, he said, and didn't speak Arabic. If he played with other kids, it wasn't that casual, as he was really focused here with his father to get his Palestinian ID. They were here during the Intifada uprising, and you could be worried for lots of reasons, not just the Israeli army on the street and people being shot, but also by being outside playing, the sort of friends you could make. 10 years later, the road to radicalization has changed so much, he says. It's not religion, but the technological revolution of the internet that's created this, he says. Before, people were looked over, but now a father cannot monitor what their son's doing on the internet. One visit at a formative age to a village that barely remembers the Tennessee gunman, but now deals with the infamy and suffering his twisted choice wrought upon his family too. Paton Walsh, CNN, Jermaine.
While Jordan investigates this tragedy, can we trust those overseas investigators to do the job right, or do they have incentive to hide the truth? We'll discuss next.